Okay, guys, last lesson of Unit 7, Lesson 7, translating real world expressions. So we're just essentially going to be writing some problems out and then solving them. So it shouldn't be too bad. It's an extension off of those expressions. But let's go ahead and get rolling with this. Expressions are frequently used in real life to describe situations involved comparisons. Okay. So, when translating verbal descriptions to algebraic expressions, ask yourself, what's being compared? You have to ask yourself, what two quantities are you looking at? And then, or multiple. And then, what is the variable going to represent? Okay. And as you see how all this fits together, we do all these problems together. Okay. So, let's take a look at number one. Let me slide it up a little bit for you. There we go. Okay. So the first one, Simon has 4 more cookies than Lucy. So Lucy is represented by the number 1. How can you explain the number of cookies Simon has compared to Lucy? Well, here's Simon, and I'm going to call Simon S. All right. Here's Lucy. He has 4 more. Gary weighs 12 pounds less than Jeff. Jeff's going to be represented by the J. How can you explain the number of pounds Gary weighs compared to Jeff? So G for Gary equals J minus 12. 12 pounds less than Jeff, right? Less than Jeff. All right, next up, variables should represent the part of a situation in which you are given the least amount of information. The least amount. Okay, so that's what you're looking for. Practice defining a variable and translating the verbal expression to an algebraic expression. The width of a box is twice as long as its length. So we're going to define the variable, the width. That's what we're looking for, right? Represent the length is going to be L, and the represent the width is 2L, right? It's 2L, it's twice the length. There are 80 brownies sold at the bake sale where half of the number of Rice Krispie treats were sold. Okay, so we're looking for R, the least amount is R, and that's our Rice Krispie treats. Represent the number of brownies. All right, well, it's half the number, so it's half R. Represent the number of Rice Krispie treats. That's just R. That's just R. Let's continue on and flip over here. See what we have here. Let's see if we're in good shape. Looks like we are. Here we go. Allison sold 12 more boxes of cookies for the fundraiser than Evangeline, right? So 12 more boxes. So E, and we're going to use a lowercase. Remember, all variables are lowercase. E equals the number of boxes, and I'm just going to abbreviate AVANG, Evangeline, sold, right? Sold. All right. What's going to represent Allison? Allison sold 12 more. So sold 12 plus whatever E sold. Evangeline's just going to be the letter E. Xavier's 85 on his math test was 37 points less than twice the number of his English test. Okay, here we go. So what are we looking for? We're looking for E, his English test, right? Represent the math test, all right? So remember, it's twice the number, so it's 2E, all right? His math test was 37 points less than twice the number, all right? 37 points then less than twice the number, so it's minus 37. Represent the ink is letter E. Letter E. Next up, it costs $100 to rent a skating rink plus $8 per person. $8 per person. So N is going to equal what? The number of people. Cost of the number of people. Well, it's $100 to rent a skating rink. So we know it's 100 plus $8 per person. Okay, per person. And we're going to call that N. All right, and the cost of 36 people. So I would substitute 36 for there. So it would be 100 plus 8 times 36, which equals 388. Okay, I just did the math real quick for you. Ender has $365 in his savings account and spends $32 per week. Define a variable. Well, I'm going to call W is the number of weeks. Okay. The amount in savings after W weeks. Okay. Well, remember, he has $365. All right. And he spends $32 a week. So when he spends it, we subtract the number of weeks. So 1 week's 32 times 2 would be 2 weeks, and so on. The amount after 9, so I'm going to substitute 9 for W. So it's 365 minus 32 times 9. And that equals $77, right? Okay, a couple more here. So the next one is the cost of an item with a $12 shipping fee. Define the variable is cost, C-O-S-T. Cost of an item with shipping. So the cost is C, right, plus $12 shipping fee. What happens if the item's $85? 85 plus 12 is $97. Okay. Anthony has half as many video games as, I guess, Guerrero. Define a variable. Well, G is going to represent the number of video games, all right, Guerrero owns. And I'm not going to write that out because I'm running out of space. Represent Anthony. Anthony has half. So it's half of Guerrero, half of G. Represent Guerrero, in this case, is going to be G. So some unique situations. We really can't solve these expressions unless they give us a value for the variable and then do the operation. But this is good stuff. Okay, guys, go ahead and move on to your homework.